What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Appeal episode 96. Today we had some squats. This is our secondary squat day. Is when I do singles. I worked up to a top single of 352 or 160 kilograms. Coming into this session, I felt not the greatest. Position felt decent, but I kind of felt like as my warm ups are moving, they were heavy. But as I watched them back, I was like, yo, these are actually moving pretty good. Um, so I just stuck to the plan, went up, I think, about 5 kilos from last week. I went up on my warm ups as well. My first one was 308. My first single was 308. Then I think it was 335 to chip in the middle, and then 352. I started using reds again because I was like, you know what, I might as well. I think at this point with my squat, before I was using blues because I was like, it was just like I don't feel strong enough to use reds. But I was like, you know what, I'll use them again, and it felt pretty good. I think that maybe it wasn't the best idea to start taking less warm ups on this day, because I went from normally I would go a blue, which is 130, and then blue quarter, which is 170, and then 220. But I went red 155 to red yellow, which is 220. And then I just went to 264. So I took like one less warm up, and it didn't feel the best, I think, because I'm not accustomed to it. So maybe it wasn't the best idea to do it, but it ended up going well either way. Here's my top single. I felt like I lost a little bit of tension midway through, but as far as the actual rep, it moved good. I made sure to get hyped up. I've been trying to get hyped up before my top single, kind of get the adrenaline pumping a little bit if I can, because it's a skill to be able to warm up, to get hyped up. And I did back downs tempo squats, like I said, 3-0. It's 3 seconds on the way down and then no pause, which I actually felt like these were pretty good. I think maybe I could have gone a slight smidge slower, but as far as it goes, my top set was there before with 297 for a triple, and then back downs were the same thing, 3-0 with 264 or 120, so the second day it's getting up there too heavy compared to what it was when I was doing pause squats. And honestly, these felt good. I felt like I was maybe rushing them a little bit at this point because my quads were a little bit fucked. And I kind of lost focus on this third set. It definitely the focus could have definitely been better as I progress through these, but I feel like when I after I do singles, I kind of lose a little bit of focus as I'm going through this. I at least very well try to keep it through my primary stuff, because they require the most focus from me. But I definitely feel sometimes on accessories I lose it, but I can always get it back. I just have to make sure that I keep it where it needs to be. And I felt like I brought it back for belt squats. I did 3 plates, which historically, like, well, not historically, for the last few weeks, I've been kind of going up and then going down on these, maybe losing the feeling of where I need to be. But today, the feeling was exactly where I wanted it to be on these. I did this is 297.5, I think, and I did for 3 sets across the board. I think the reps were like 8, 7, 6 for 3 sets, which is crazy. I was doing 2 plates and a quarter, I think, for around 11 to 12. But every time I went to three, I was just like, man, this just feels heavy and it feels bad. But today it felt heavy, but it felt good. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bang out 3 sets. This is my last leg session for the week. Maybe not the best idea because again, I usually try to keep the fatigue to at this point in the training block on accessories a little bit lower because again I'm squatting again in probably like 3 or 4 days. But that as far as it goes, the top end isn't as heavy, but it's getting close with my squats. So I try to keep the fatigue a little bit minimal. And the second exercise, this was belt split squat. But I was like, you know what? I'm already on this leg press because I need to do calves. Let me try the single leg press because it kind of felt weird before. So I did it and it felt pretty good. And I think this honestly feels better than the belt split squat. Belt split squat, it gets a little bit weird, especially at the bottom. You know, my heel comes up a lot and it just kind of feels strange. And I've been thinking maybe I need a little bit more glute work. Uh, Historically, I haven't needed it because they've grown pretty well from squats. But considering my bar position is a little bit higher with squat shoes as well, I think that doing these will help me get that unilateral leg development, but as well as these target the glute really well. I only do about one set on here, and again, this was hard. It was like a 110, I think, for like a set of six. It obviously doesn't look that hard, but it felt pretty exhausting at this point in the workout. You know, after bar back squats and then belt squats, it felt pretty intense for me. So I only did that much, and I don't want to again cause too much fatigue, especially after the belt squats. But overall, this was a pretty textbook session. It felt really, really good. I definitely exerted a lot of effort here on these accessory movements and my competition movements, or my, my main compounds. Definitely one that I am proud of. And I always just try to, going back to the focus thing, when I lose focus, I just have to take a second, stop what I'm doing and then just like bring myself back and zone in and think, okay, I need to make sure that everything in this workout is good. I'm hitting my numbers, I'm going up, and that my form, most of all, stays good so that I'm progressing towards where I need to be. Because not all work is good work. Sometimes you get in work, but it's sloppy, it's bad, and it is going to reinforce bad technique within one of your movement patterns, which is something that will trickle over time into your main movements. Um, but that's pretty much it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe if you did. And I will see you tomorrow for deadlifts and hopefully a good single. Thanks for watching.